but today's I kind of trying to explain like the 7 things that you want to keep in mind when you try to buy the small apartment building.
Okay.
And just gonna share this on the screen. Do you already have a small apartment building or?
No, I have a rental property that I'm in the middle of rehabbing. It's a duplex in
Oh,
Cleveland.
okay, duplex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, but I want to get into I'm interested in the small apartment.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I used to have a duplex, but it was kind of like far away. So
Uh-huh.
I had hard times, making repairs and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a couple of people that I know that like live out there, so
Oh,
thank
I
goodness
see.
they help me out.
Yeah, that's probably smart,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think I'm gonna share the screen. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the 7 things to keep in mind when buying the small apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is a hub plan. Like, is your plan to buy and hold, or is your plan to flip? Depending on the plans, you decide which building you need to buy. The
Okay.
plans always comes first. So if you're planning to buy and hold, like maybe you're thinking about, either cash flow or appreciation, it's usually very difficult to find the property for both appreciation and then cash flow. For example, I live in Virginia, and in this area, if you want to go for cash flow, many people buy property at the Baltimore, Maryland, and they do really have a good cash flow, but they don't really appreciate much. But if you want to go for appreciations, people tend to buy in like a good part of DC, and then appreciation is great, but they don't really cash flow. So
Gotcha.
yeah, if you wanna like some plan for buy and hold, I tend to kind of think that appreciation is better than cash flow. Maybe it's, depending on your life cycle. If you wanna, retire and then getting a lot of cash flow, so you might wanna buy cash flow. But if you are still starting for the real estate, I recommend to buy for appreciations, so that you get tons of appreciations, in mid carriers, and then maybe use the equity from the property which appreciated, and then use to either cash out or buy another building. And so that's why I think the hub plan is the first one. Like you really need to have a plan. Like, what's your plans? Do you plan to buy and hold, or you plan to flip? So really, initially, you want to plan out, and then depending on the plans, you execute the plans after you purchase. And the second thing is be patient. You need to be patient to buy the right building for you. So don't be in a rush to buy. Take your time to make the deal which makes sense for you. In order to be a property manager, you have to learn to be patient. Basically, like a small apartment building, even you have a property manager, you end up, becoming a kind of property manager at the end. So you want to be patient to buy the right building. Otherwise, you end up like, taking a lot of calls, or, too many repairs, stuff like that. So you really want to take a time to buy the to purchase a right building for you. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, yeah, people try to buy like a good buy, but that then it could be like in the neighborhood that, you know, you kind of like don't want to go there in the evening or something like that. So it's really like, you know, personal preference. And just, you know, because the wholesaler give you the deals, then you jump on it. And then, you know, later you might regret it, the decision. So be patient and then don't, you know, rush into things. Just make sure, you know, you have a plan and then that's the neighborhood you want to buy. And then number 3, prepare for cash flow crunch. So depending on the size of the building, I think maybe duplex, maybe you may not fear, but I purchased 9-unit apartment building. So 9-unit apartment building, you have a bigger roof, which costs much more. And then you have a systems like HVAC system that, you know, kind of a lot of investment to replace. So be prepared to pay for unexpected expenses, roof leak, boiler breakdowns, you know, those stuff happen. So you need to create a reserve to be able to pay. So initially, the bank may require to have a reserve, meaning like you know, some set aside money to prepare for those repairs. But even the bank don't require to do it. It's wise to set aside some money to be able to repair, like, or buy some appliances which, you know, breakdowns. So one time I have to replace whole stove for all units. So I have to buy 9 stoves. So, you know, stove,
wow.
yeah, which is like, you know, anywhere between 500, 700. So that's a lot of expenses. So be sure to be able to afford that type of, you know, capital expenditure. So prepare for cash flow crunch. So when you buy like, you know, bigger unit, like 100 plus, of course, they will have those capital reserve to be able to pay. But the small apartment, like, you know, duplex, you know, fourplex, you know, they tend to not to have, you know, like a cushions. So
Right.
be prepared, you know, this stuff happen, especially like boilers, you know, hot water heaters. They just, you know, stuff happens. So you need to be able to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then number 4 is light financing. Make sure you get the light financing for your project. For example, you want to get the interest-only construction loan during the construction instead of regular loan because your mortgage payment is much more manageable when you don't have any income. So if you have to do extensive renovation before you getting cash flow, you know, you kind of want to have like interest only loan so that the monthly payment is much lower. And then after you start getting cash flow, you can refinance to regular loans so you can get the amortizations so that you can pay off eventually your mortgage. So those are the things like you have to consider. And then of course, when you are doing the flipping, depending on the condition of the properties, you might be able to get the regular loan, but if the condition is really severe, then you may have to get the some type of hard money lending or bridge loan if it's really commercial. So those are the things that you have to really kind of plan out, because when you are trying to buy and hold, and then if you have a, you know, high interest hard money loan, that doesn't work. So make sure you get the right kind of financing for your project. And then number 5 is locations. Look for paths of growth where the things happening, and then you are most likely to get the benefit by buying upcoming locations before everyone realize the potential value. So my case is I purchased the place called H Street, and then before that, there's nothing really going on, like some shops, small restaurants. Now, like Whole Food, good restaurants, nice condominium. So it's really happened. And then it's too late. It's more expensive. But I was able to purchase the 4-unit apartment building before this happened. So I think it's really, benefit for you if you pay attention to paths of growth where the things, coming up. Do you have any questions?
Do you go to a particular site or anything to to look for locations?
So if you kind of go to the locations, you kind of see that development is coming up. And then also you can kind of follow the commercial development. The company called BizNow, they have commercial industry informations. So if you follow them in your town, they have a major city informations. Where are you located?
In Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, Atlanta. I'm pretty sure BizNow has Atlanta version. So,
and what is it? BIZ?
Yeah, BIZNOW, BizNow.
Okay. Oh, BizNow. Okay.
Yeah, so if you follow them, usually they have like a major city like Atlanta, and then you can follow the informations, and then you can see where the new development coming, and then most likely whenever they plan to build a new, mixed use, new retail, that's where you should be, planning to purchase. They do have a BizNow Atlanta. So I'm gonna put in that chat so that you can see. Oh, it's that chat. Okay. I just put in a chat box. You see?
Okay. Let's see.
BizNow Atlanta.
No, it's not. I don't see it in the chat.
Oh.
But I think I can let's see. I can screenshot this now. Let's see. Did it come in the chat? Yeah, no, there's nothing in the chat. Tap here to chat. Hold and let's see. I'm gonna put hello and see if you see mine.
So let me share this screen. Oh, where's this? Share this BizNow screen. Okay. Can you see BizNow?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is biznow.com, and then yeah, this is Atlanta, and then you see that prominent midtown retail property for 38 million. So I think you can just kind of subscribe like the newsletter, like you can just put your email and then submit, and then almost every day they start kind of sending information. Like for example, if you click, I don't know if you can see, new developer takeover alliance on the Moreland Avenue plan nearly 700 units. I don't know where maybe you know, but
I know what Moreland Avenue is.
okay. So local residential developer is taking over the large development site in southeast Atlanta. So these are the places you should be looking.
Okay, got you.
Because they spend so much money for the market study, so they know this is, the growth. So you should also pay attention to those areas. Because whenever they plans, they usually put, more retails, and then when the retails and managed families and mixed use, that's where the people getting attracted to those places. So depending on, I don't know if Atlanta had a rent control, these are the places you will have a rent increase.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So it's best to pay attention to, those locations, and then make sure, like, those are the, development. And then if you think there's a pocket of location that you can take advantage of, maybe still cheaper, but after they already develop out, then it's gonna be more expensive.
Okay.
So those are the kind of, news. Maybe there's, other commercial, news that you can subscribe besides this now, and then pay attention. And then if you drive by, you see the crane, like, development, and then that's where you should be paying attention.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to where is he? Okay. See. Okay, this is okay. Can you see that 7 things to keep in mind?
Yes.
Okay. So that was number 5, locations. So look for the possible growth, and then, buy into the location before, it's get expensive. So that's usually good for appreciation, like, buy before it's getting expensive. And then, after that, when, it's appreciated, you can either cash out, refi, and then buy other, properties, or sales, and, then you can buy another location, like upcoming another locations. Or, there's a, like a train coming, or some, like a major highway development, and then you can also pay attention to that.
Okay.
So when I purchased this 4-unit apartment building in the Capitol Hill, there is a plan for the streetcar, the train coming, and then I purchased before the trains, finish. So price was also discounted at the time.
Lucky you.
But we all know that the plan was there. It's just some people took actions, and then some people didn't. So yeah, just pay attention to, like, the train station coming, and any other major development, commercial development, retail coming. So if you pay attention to those, then you will be good. Okay. I think if any other people had questions, please go ahead. I think there's some other people. Or you can put in a chat box and then I can answer some questions.
Hello, everyone. This is Roscoe. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I joined a little late, so I'm sorry if someone already asked this question, but I was curious to know, how do you find particular properties? Is there a particular website like the MLS, or is it more like a networking on trying to find properties to buy?
I think all above, I find this particular listing on the MRIS, but the other times I will get like off market from Bad Dog or a wholesaler, and then sometimes like a marketing campaign, like sending a postcard or letter, then you can directly talk to the owner of the building, and then you can be able to purchase. And then usually there's a list broker, or you can get the list at the court, or probate, or tenant land court. You can get the list, and then you can send a letter. Like for example, you go to the court, and then who's filing for evictions, and those are the typically very tired landlord who's don't want to deal with the tenant. So you can target those landlord, or if it's probate, eventually people trying to liquidate those property that need going through the probate. So you can also approach the heir of those properties. Did I answer your questions?
Yes, you did. You did. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Michelle, do you have any questions?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sunitra, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. So the number 6, legal compliance. Make sure to be in legal compliance. The law and regulation changes, so make sure you're up to date and educate yourself. For example, during the pandemic in DC, we had like an emergency order. So basically, they kind of stop evictions, and then the landlord couldn't even file for the notice to vacate. So if you send out notice to vacate during the times, if they find out, you will get fined. So make sure you are in a legal compliance, and then really need to keep update on what's going on, especially during the pandemic, and then make sure you are up to date. What kind of filing you can do, what kind of procedure change, then you have to comply with. If 60-day notice was changed to, for example, maybe 7-day notice, you have to know that. So you always want to talk to the competent lawyers who really know the rules and everything, and then complying, and then based on the law changes, you need to change those compliance. So it's very critical for you to educate yourself, and then make sure you are not violating any law in your local state. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. And then finally, number 7, networking and building relationship. Real estate is a real relationship business, so keep networking and build a relationship before you need them. So for example, I've been in business for like about 15 years. So I built a relationship over times in especially Washington, DC. So initially I did a lot of marketing campaign, but now even I'm not looking for building, people bring the deal to me. So those are the kind of relationship you want to create over time. So relationship with contractor, relationship with attorneys, relationship with the property manager or management companies, and then any people who are in the community who can refer the pretty much off market deal to you. So those are the relationship you want to develop over time. You can attend the REI meeting in the community or any other community event, and then make sure like you treat them well. Otherwise, they're not coming back to do the business with you. So it's very important to kind of keep your word and then treat them like you won't be treated. Do you have any questions? Yeah, I think like attending networking event, and then getting referral from the contractors. Usually like a good contractor has a different contractor. Like for example, if you have like a general contractor, he generally know good plumbers, good electricians, and then so those are the kind of network you want to have, because whenever you have a small apartment building, you always need some repair. So you want to have like a windows, to be replaced, and then you need someone to do the small plumbing work. So you need to have those contact handy so that you can call in a pinch. Like sometimes I have like emergency plumbing issues. It's like a holiday season, and then you start keep calling, but those are the relationship you have. Then they will take maybe the job for you instead of just not picking up your phone call or something. So those are the very important relationship you have to have to operate small apartment building. Do you have any questions for the networking building relationship? Kim, do you have a?
No.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you attend those networking events?
I have before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good.
But it's been a while, especially
yeah,
with
I know,
COVID.
right? Yeah, it's pandemic. It's kind of tough, but well, maybe when it's safe to go, I recommend to network with other investors, especially contractor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then those are the 7 things to keep in mind when buying small apartment building. And then the I'm gonna share some of the apartment building we did over the years. See, just I can share this screen. Oops. Share screen. Can you see the Excel spreadsheet?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the 4-unit apartment building. Initially, I was trying to flip. So this is the calculation I did. So it's a 4-unit, and then I was trying to sell 400,000 each. So the after repair value was the $1.6 million, and then the purchase price was 560,000, and there's a financing cost, carrying cost, and then our plan was 12 months start from finish, and we have to pay agent commissions, and then the property tax, and that was guts renovation, meaning we have to take everything inside and then build pretty much everything from floor joist, frame, new bathroom, new kitchen, everything from scratch for all 4-unit apartment building. And that was the repair budget was $336,900. And then the profit, our estimate was about 500,000. And that was our plan. But at the end, after 12 months, we start selling, but we couldn't really get the 400,000 each for the apartment building, which we are selling as a condominium. So we changed the plans, and then we start renting these apartment building. And then we end up getting refinance from the construction loan to the permanent loans. And then was be able to do some refi for the building. And gonna show you some other budget screen. Let's see.
So do you still have that apartment building?
Yes. So we end up renting these apartment building. So let me see if I can share this budget screen. Zoom is very tricky. Oops. So this is a budget. So source is basically source of the capital came from. So the sponsor is me. So the sponsor contribute about 470,000, and that in this case we use United Bank. United Bank get the loan and then contributed 528,500. And then we had a private investor invest 100,000. So the total source of the cash was about 1 million, you know, and then the use of this money was the purchase price of the building, 560,000, and then renovation was about 350,000, and then the soft cost and then legal fee, mostly soft cost. Like for example, since we have to do this everything from scratch, we have to have an architect to draw up all the planning and everything. Those are about like 15,000, and then each trade, like a structure engineer, have to have a plan. So structure engineer costs about maybe like another 5,000, and then MEPS, mechanical engineer, who draw up all the mechanical, electricals, and the other things. They also charge about another 5,000. And then we had to do the sprinkler systems. So we have to pay for the sprinkler company to draw up those sprinkler plans as well. And then of course, we have to have a civil engineer to draw up the site plans. And then they of course charge another 5,000 or 7,000. So it's completely add up about 52,000. And then the other expenses, we have to have a permit expenditures. You have to pay to the DC for the permit fees, which pretty expensive. And then I think selling costs are more, and then we have to pay interest for the bank, about 50,000. And then insurance for the builder insurance is very high because it's kind of construction building insurance. And then we have a property tax, and then some of the financing costs to pay for the mortgage broker. And then those are close to those $1 million. And then those are the kind of budget that we work on. But since we end up making to this converted to the rental at the end, so we continue to get the cash flow for these properties. And then most of the equity that we had is already kind of paid out as the rental incomes, and then also the cash refi we did a couple of years ago. Okay, do you have any questions?
No,
Okay, so
I have to go over it a little bit more to understand it. So yeah.
oh, okay. Again, those are the kind of the locations that you purchase before everything kind of starting. It's kind of like the trick is buying at the edge of the development. It's coming, but the price is not still reflected to the potential, and then buy it cheap, and then after it's developed, you can either refi or sell and then roll up to different building. Now, for example, this building is probably like a range of like a 1.6 million right now. So
Nice. Wow.
when I was able to purchase 560, so now you can't find anything like that anymore. So the trick is to find those locations. Of course, if your plan is the cash flow, I think you can purchase in an establishment neighborhood who, you know, you can make some consistent cash flow instead of buying a, kind of trending neighborhood. So those are the kind of example of case study, finding the locations, and then making sure you prepare for the cash flow crunch, and then light financing. So initially, we purchased this building for construction loan, and then need to be sell as a condominium. So at the times, it was just construction loans. So you should be able to, have a plan B, and then need to be able to get the permanent financing, meaning, regular the loan that can be amortized, so that you can eventually pay off the loan in the right way. And then you have to have a good relationship. So you build the relationship over time, and then a lot of agent. Central, you have questions?
Yes, my screen is black.
Oh. I don't think I'm sharing any screen with you.
Oh, okay. Everything is just black. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay.
I see Yukiko.
Oh, okay.
I don't even see you.
Yeah, it's supposed to show just me. No,
Yeah.
I don't see you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why. But I'm not sharing any screen right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So I think it's just critical to find the locations that kind of, has a potential, and then, right kind of financing to put structure, like could be construction loan, could be rehab loan, could be permanent loans. I recommend, if the property is fairly good conditions, just get the regular financing, because commercial loans, construction loan, you really have like maybe 1 or 2 years, and then you really need to finish. And then unless you already have a permanent loans at the back end, you will be like a, kind of panic mode at the end of the construction loan, because you really need to sell the building, even at the loss. Same thing with hard money loan. If you have a 12 months, at the 12 months, if you cannot sell, they can actually have a right to foreclose it, So make sure you have a right financing. And then if you cannot sell, have a backup plan. I was be able to DeFi with the permanent loans, and then that's saved me. But if you didn't have a backup plans, then it's all over. So make sure you plan, plan B as well. If you are doing the rehab or, fix and flip, and make sure you have a plan B. It's, very critical, because you don't want to get wiped out, especially this is your first deal and then you are wiped out. That's taking out maybe, 1 or 2 years to go back to real estate. So be patient, and then, take your time to find the right building to purchase. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So next month, we have a same second Tuesday at the 7 p.m. Eastern times. And if you have any specific topics, let me know. Don't know if I type my contact information. So I type in my information. So if you have any preference for next month's topics, please send email to me. And then, I try to accommodate as much as possible.
Okay, thank
For
you.
the next month's topics. If you wanna go over numbers, then I can go over numbers. I have a degree in the master in the real estate development. So I underwrite all kinds of buildings, retails, office buildings, self-storage. So if you have any preference, I can, do the simple, how to run the number for small apartment building if you like, or, maybe other topics if you like. And then I can, go ahead, Michelle.
I was just saying thank you for that information. I appreciate that.
Which information?
Oh, what you're just speaking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, the number is usually very dry and then people get bored, but I think it's kind of critical, to know how to run the numbers. It's also very personal because some people just want to have like a $200, per unit per month, something like that. So that's what I initially started. Just when I started like 15 years ago, I only wanted just buy, one or two and then make $200 a month. So that's what's my initial goal. Now I have, small apartment buildings, and then I invest passively in the office building. And then I just invest in real estate development, which is development of apartment building and townhomes in Virginia and then North Carolina. So, initially maybe you are not thinking about bigger project, but eventually when you get used to running numbers, then you can comfortably invest in the other big project. So I want to teach anyone who are interested in learning more about real estate investment.
Yes,
if you have,
thank you.
oh, you're
I'm
welcome.
definitely interested in the passive investment.
Yeah, passive is very easy. I have an office building making like a return like a clockwise, and then when you hear office building in pandemic, you think no, but this building mostly occupied by government agency in Virginia, and they have a 10-year lease with the maybe like some specific like a 3%, 2% rent increase, specific terms. So I wasn't worried, and then just clockwise getting cash flow every quarters. So that's really amazing. And then my goal is work less and then make more. So that's really my bill. So I think eventually I try to, retire from this active investment and then make it maybe 100% passive in the future. So that's kind of my plans. Anyone have any more questions? Oh, okay. It's a little bit early, but I will end this presentation today, and then I'm looking forward to meeting you guys at the I think March 8th, second Tuesday, 7 p.m. at Eastern. Thank you so much for attending. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.